Well, good afternoon or good evening to everyone. I'd like to welcome you to our public business meeting here Thursday, October 11th, 2012. Commissioners, are there any additions or deletions to our agenda this evening?
No, sir.
No, sir. Okay. Gentlemen, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes of our September 27th, 2012 public business meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Brody, seconded by Commissioner Valentine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Gentlemen, on Monday night, I had the opportunity to attend an organizational meeting of the Maryland Rural Counties Coalition. And at that agenda, there was a couple different things that were adopted. They adopted a new constitution and bylaws. They elected a new chairman. Gentlemen, I am the new chairman of the Maryland Rural Counties Coalition.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. But more especially, what's more important is a press release that was sent out on Tuesday, or is being sent out today, Thursday. Maryland Rural County Coalition grows to 9 counties. The Maryland Rural Coalition has expanded now to 9 counties with the unanimous vote today by Caroline County Commissioners voted to join the coalition. Previously, on October 2nd, Wacomico County Council and County Exec President voted unanimously to join the coalition as well. I won't read everything in here, gentlemen, but right now the Rural Coalition represents 919,776 rural Maryland residents. We have had interest now from Charles County, Calvert County, Hartford County, Kent County, Queen Anne's County, St. Mary's County, Talbot, and Worcester. I pronounced that wrong.
Worcester. That's Worcester. We just call it steak sauce.
Worcester. All right.
Worcester.
Those counties now have actually asked for information and may be going on a tour again of those counties to talk to them about the Rural County Coalition. At that meeting, I listened to a presentation from Funk and Bolton. This was on behalf of the Dorchester County Commissioners, and it is a letter that was received here at the county by them talking about the Phase 2 Watershed Implementation Plan, better well known as WIP, wastewater treatment plants and enhanced nutrient removal, the Allegany hydro plant, power plant permit renewal, and the Maryland Department of Planning mandate revisions on the county master plans, as well as regional gas greenhouse gas initiative program. Gentlemen, this presentation was very interesting and may warrant our participation in such. The Rural County Coalition has not had a vote to endorse this or not endorse this. This would be something separate with Dorchester County. So if it would be okay with you, I would like to direct County Administrator to contact them as well as Dorchester to possibly put it on a future work session and maybe get us a little bit more information on this as well, if we could. Sir? Okay. Moving right into presentations this evening. Item number 1 is the Safe Streets Grant. And I understand that Chief Hinnant, the Cumberland City Police Chief, is here. Sheriff Craig Robertson is here.
Chief Hannah's got the hair, you know.
Okay. Sheriff, would you please explain the Safe Streets Grant to us, sir?
I don't believe the chief will speak to you again after he finds out. First of all, thank you, commissioners. It's an honor and a privilege tonight to be before you and introduce some new associates to the local law enforcement. In April 2012, the Cumberland Police Department submitted to the Governor's Office of Crime Control and Prevention a grant request for a safe street initiative. This grant was drafted in hopes to form a Cumberland Safe Streets Coalition that would include many agencies throughout Allegany County, including the Allegany County Sheriff's Office and government. This July, we were notified that the grant request was approved and provided the coalition with $180,000. This program allows law enforcement much-needed resources to direct their attention towards individuals who are responsible for a large portion of crime that occurs in the city of Cumberland. Even though this program is directed at Cumberland City, criminals do not recognize boundaries and are also involved in illegal activities in other areas of Allegany County. That is one reason why the Sheriff's Office is excited about the partnership with the Cumberland Police Department. This grant has provided us with money to hire 3 positions for the initiative: a project coordinator, a project analyst, and an additional criminal investigator. The coordinator and analyst positions are under the direction of the Cumberland City Police, and the investigator was hired through the Allegany County State's Attorney's Office. After reviewing numerous applications and conducting several interviews, I'm proud tonight to introduce the selected individuals. The project coordinator, whom will oversee the operation of the grant and will work as liaison with the local law enforcement. That person chosen for the position is no stranger, of course, to Allegany County. He has over 35+ years in law enforcement training, 16 of which was sheriff of Allegany County. I'd like to introduce at this time David Goad as the program coordinator. Have anything to say, Dave? Or? Okay.
Congratulations.
The program analyst. This person will be doing analytical work by obtaining and compiling data provided by local law enforcement. The individual selected for this position is Jason Malott. Jason is from the Everett, Pennsylvania area and has numerous experience in analytical work with the United States Air Force. His specialty was tracking terrorists while stationed in Iraq, and also has experience in drug trafficking. Jason? I'd like to welcome Jason, especially not, since we just met in the past couple days, or past couple weeks actually, not knowing him before. I think Jason's going to be a wonderful addition to law enforcement here in Allegany County. So welcome, Jason. The last position is that of State's Attorney Investigator. This individual will be responsible following through with cases for their conception through prosecution. The individual who was selected for this position is also well known in local law enforcement. Chuck Goldstrom was prior administrative investigator with the C3I unit, recently retired with the rank of sergeant from the Maryland State Police. He's worked numerous high-profile cases and has extensive criminal investigation work. Chuck? Also tonight, before I end, I would like to recognize we have with us tonight Mayor Grimm from the Cumberland, City of Cumberland. It's a great partnership. The mayor is actually chairman of the coalition, and we've been working pretty hard lately just trying to get everything developed, and look forward to working alongside with him. You know, during my 34 years in law enforcement, I've had the pleasure to work with 2 out of 3 individuals here tonight, and I know their abilities. The City of Cumberland and Allegany County could not have selected 3 better people, and I feel that they will take us to new heights in fighting crime in this area. I'd like to thank you for the time tonight, Commissioners, and again, recognizing these gentlemen as additions with law enforcement here in Allegany County.
Let's give these 3 gentlemen a round of applause. I guess one could say criminals be on notice. Okay, wonderful, thank you. Item number 2 today is our Economic Development Week proclamation. Understand that Mr. Diaz here is to give us a little history and education, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Go back with me about approximately 1 year ago, in October of 2011, the state of Maryland, in conjunction with the Maryland Economic Development Association, recognized this same week in October as the first Economic Development Week in the state of Maryland. With that, it was asked that all the local government partners in economic development issue proclamations and do associated events, whatnot, to draw attention to the field and the state of Maryland's commitment to economic development. This year is no different. It is the second year of the Economic Development Week, which will take place next week, October 15th through the 19th. And at the request of the state of Maryland and MEDA, I am asking the commissioners tonight to proclaim next week Economic Development Week in Allegany County. And as such, we, as the department, will continue our mission doing the things that we do every day, and that's business retention and expansion, business attraction. And an extra note for next week, I will be attending the Maryland Broadband Cooperative's annual meeting in Annapolis on Thursday. So there are events scheduled throughout the week throughout the state, and with your permission, I would like to ask that you proclaim next week Economic Development Week in Allegany County. One more thing, as you do the proclamation tonight, if you would indulge me to allow my staff to join you on the stage to receive this proclamation
Certainly.
on our behalf.
Like a good baseball manager, as well as a manager of a good organization, Matt is very humble. And so if we could have the team come up to accept this proclamation, we'd appreciate it, please. Gentlemen. In the center, please, ma'am.
I told them you wouldn't do this, Commissioner, but if you don't mind, put them on the spot a little bit and have them introduce themselves to the folks.
Okay, Matthew says that he would like you to introduce yourself and discuss your specialty. Tell us your sign, tell us your favorite food, and
Like Five Guys.
Miss Mason, please.
Kelly Mason, I'm a cancer. My specialty is taking care of these guys.
Yes, Jeff Barclay. I'm a Libra.
Whoever you're at.
Yeah. My specialty's in GIS and some engineering stuff and site location, that sort of thing, for the county. I take great pride in it.
Mr. Novak?
My name is David Nedved. I'm the grants guy, the stats guy, and I'm a tourist.
When you drive.
Yeah, when you drive.
I'm Tim Carney. I'm a Senior Project Manager for Economic Development. My specialties are business retention, which I'm lucky enough to have commissioners attend a lot of the visits with me this year, and also the facility management and Pisces.
Yes, another Pisces. Anyhow, all right. Good enough, sir?
Very good, thank you,
All
sir.
right, thank you. He said we could carry on. Allegheny County Government. Whereas the Allegheny County Department of Economic and Community Development is an active member of MEDA, the Maryland Economic Development Association, a nonprofit organization now celebrating its 51st year. And whereas MEDA provides economic development professionals important educational opportunities and encourages partnership to enhance the efforts to bring jobs and investment to Maryland. And whereas members promote Maryland economic well-being and work to improve and enhance the state's business climate. And whereas the economic growth and stability of the state affects all regions and jurisdictions, and Allegheny County is an important component of Maryland's economic success, as exemplified this past year by continuing successful and increasing business operations in Allegheny County. Therefore, we as County Commissioners of Allegheny County hereby proclaim the week of October 15th through the 19th, 2012 as Economic Development Week in Allegheny County, and ask all to join with us to recognize and reaffirm the importance of business development in Allegheny County and throughout the state of Maryland. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands to be caused to the seal of Allegheny County, Maryland, to be affixed this 11th day of October in the year 2012. Signed by all three county commissioners, Michael McKay, Creed Brody, and William Valentine. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Like to say anything else? Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
great. Thank you again.
Commissioner.
Appreciate it. Jeff, keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Wait to see him sit first. I just wanted to make sure his chair was okay.
Item number 3, the Allegany Soil Conservation District Martin M. Gordon Urban Conservation Award for 2012. I understand that the debonair and dashing Mr. Craig Hartsock, District Manager, is here to make the announcement.
Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. Mr. Eberly, good to see you again. Each year, the Allegany Soil Conservation District presents 2 awards, the Wilbert Paul Outstanding Conservation Farm Award and the Martin M. Gordon Urban Conservation Award. We are here this evening to present one of these awards, the Martin M. Gordon Urban Conservation Award. Before I present the award, I'd like to recognize some members of the Conservation District Board who are in attendance. We have our chairman, Mr. Tom Butler,
Sir?
and board members Ron Hawk, one of our newer members, some of you probably know, Mr. Steve Young,
Gentlemen?
and Wesley Gordon. And I would say, I'd like to recognize Wesley Gordon. If you notice, this is the Martin M. Gordon Award we're presenting. Wesley is the son of the late Martin Gordon, whom we named the award after.
Okay.
And some of you have been around a while in Allegany County, maybe have heard of Martin Gordon. He was what I think one of the pioneers of conservation in the county. He spent his entire career working with soil conservation in Maryland and Delaware before he retired back to Allegany County. And about 10 years ago, our board decided to name an award after him. So this is what we're here for this evening. So the 2012 recipient of the Martin M. Gordon Urban Conservation Award is Angie Patterson, the Land Use and Planning Engineer for Allegany County. Angie currently oversees the stormwater management program for private development in Allegany County, along with the inspection program for all stormwater management facilities in the county. I can personally say that Angie is a true professional in executing her duties, and her cooperative attitude in working with the Soil Conservation District staff is truly appreciated. But the main reason we're here this evening to present the award is for the outstanding job that Angie has done, and I think this was mentioned earlier as part of Commissioner McKay's report when he mentioned the watershed implementation plan is one of the meetings he was at, is that Angie was the primary person in the county that took on that responsibility to help us develop that plan for Allegany County. And those of you who don't know, the watershed implementation plan is the plan that we had to develop to meet Allegany County's TMDL, total maximum daily load requirements, helping clean up the Chesapeake Bay. And that was a major task that Angie took on. She had to coordinate and bring a lot of folks to the table to put that plan together. And I know it was over a year that we spent in meetings, and she just did a fantastic job, and the county should be proud of the work she done. So with that, I think I know Angie is here. So Angie, if you would please come forward, and we have a little something here to present you in appreciation of the outstanding job you do for Allegany County. We have a plaque that it says the 2012 Martin M. Gordon Urban Conservation Award presented to Angela Patterson for outstanding leadership and guidance in the development of a watershed implementation plan for Allegany County, presented by Allegany Soil Conservation District 2012. Angie, congratulations. And while you're up here, Carl Robinette, who I didn't introduce with the NRCS in our office, also has an award to present.
Well,
thank you, Commissioners, for allowing us to come here this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
And present these awards. I guess you all know that USDA, Natural Resource Conservation Service, is put here to provide technical assistance to the Soil Conservation District. I personally am the district conservationist here, and of course, I enjoy that work quite a bit, as well as the soil science side of it. And I certainly have Angie here to thank for giving me the opportunity. Occasionally, the county needs some technical expertise in soils, and I'd just like to say that it's been a while, Angie. My fingers are getting kind of itchy, so I need to see another hole in the ground.
Do your voodoo.
Yeah. The plaque that we have is simply to complement the one that the districts provide. It's, I'm presenting this course on behalf of our state conservationist, John Hall. It reads, the Natural Resources Conservation Service commends Angela Patterson for her exemplary commitment to land stewardship and selection as the recipient of the Martin M. Gordon Urban Conservation Award in Allegheny County. So, congratulations.
I just want to say to Craig and the whole Soil Conservation District, thank you so much. This is very encouraging to me. You guys have always been very supportive of my efforts, and it is a great encouragement. And I also just want to thank my boss, David Eberly, and the commissioners for being so supportive of the efforts as well. Some of the work that I do isn't always the best topics. But they've allowed me the freedom to address them, and I appreciate that. And finally, I also want to say thank you to the whole Watershed Implementation Plan Committee, because obviously we couldn't have pulled it all together without them. We've established some really great partnerships with some different agencies, and in particular, I want to recognize Dan DeWitt. I invited him to come be here to receive this award with me tonight, but he couldn't be here. But he's been my co-pilot through this whole thing, so he should be recognized as well. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Ms. Patterson. Excellent. All right. Item number 4, Commissioners, is the Allegheny County Animal Shelter Management Foundation Capital Campaign Update. And I understand that Mr. DeVore has brought a whole slew of people here.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
You know, for a number of years, it's been a vision of many people in the county to see the construction of a new state-of-the-art animal shelter care facility here in the county. And our nonprofit wing of the shelter, the Allegheny County Animal Shelter Management Foundation, has accepted that responsibility to view and get that process started on construction. And with that, they've started the process of kicking off a capital campaign. Incidentally, it is a very big weekend for us coming up here. The Traveling McCoolies are in town to do a benefit concert that will support that project, and Saturday is Barktoberfest. But with that being said, I thought it'd be best to hear from some of the people specifically involved. And first we'll start with Carl Brubaker, Shelter Manager.
Thank you, Dick. Gentlemen, it's always nice to see you. We do have a very big weekend, of course, coming up at the animal shelter. And I just wanted to share with you a little bit about what's going on at the shelter and how important the Animal Shelter Management Foundation has become to what we do every day. Simply put, we just couldn't do what we're currently doing without the support of the foundation. They're organizing and training volunteers. Those volunteers help to offset the cost of staff and those man hours that we desperately need to take care of these animals. They're promoting foster and adoption programs and raising tens of thousands of dollars, and that goes for animal care, food, and supplies as well. And of course, the foundation is taking the lead in designing and funding a very much needed new facility to house and care for the pets in need in Allegany County. The designs by Storyboard and Associates are fantastic. They are a very good firm who have many years of experience in designing shelters, and their focus is absolutely animal care first, which is our priority as well. So you'll hear more about the foundation from Susan and from Becky as well, but I just want to go on record as saying thank you for their commitment. Thank you to the foundation for what they do in helping us. And of course, everyone, please do come out this weekend. We do have the Traveling McCourys, arguably the best bluegrass band on the planet, coming to play a concert for us downtown. And then Saturday, we'll be downtown on the mall on Center Street and Baltimore Street with a big adoption event. We're encouraging everyone to come down and take a look at the great animals that we have at the shelter. Thank you.
Commissioners, next we have newly appointed board member Susan Eisel from the Allegany County Animal Control Board.
Thank you, Dick. Commissioners, thank you for allowing me to speak. I made notes because I'm not a public speaker. As an incoming member of the Allegany County Animal Control Board, I'd like to add my voice of thanks and support to the Animal Shelter Management Foundation. Our Animal Control Board has already had the opportunity to meet with foundation officers, and we were very encouraged to learn about the work that they are doing and the work that they are about to do on behalf of the lost, abandoned, surrendered, abused, and neglected animals in our county. I think all of us understand that there is no free lunch in the drive to provide compassionate, humane care while saving the lives of all the animals we in practicality can save. A new facility designed for this purpose is a critical need that comes at a tough time to find the money. I'm impressed with their plans, appreciative of the commissioner's donation of the land, and hopeful that this upcoming weekend will be the start of a successful community effort to improve Allegany County's program. If we pull together, I think we can reach the goal and create a long-term solution that everybody can and will be proud of.
Lastly, Commissioners, a dear friend next, who still owes me many favors.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
Vice President of the Allegany County Animal Shelter Management Foundation, Becky McClure.
Thank you. Short. 10 years ago, Dave Eberly called me and said, do you like cats and dogs? And I made the mistake of saying yes. And I have been on the Allegany County Shelter Management Foundation and as vice president for the last 10 years. Thanks, Dave. But I am proud to be here today and to share a little bit about our Barktoberfest weekend coming up and to announce the beginning of our new Founder Share $1 million capital campaign drive that we are hoping to build a new adoption and care center at the shelter. As you already know, tomorrow some of the best bluegrass musicians in the country, the Traveling McCourys, are playing a benefit concert, along with two of the region's up-and-coming bands, bluegrass bands, Frost Mountain Revival and Half Lit, and they're all donating their services for a kickoff benefit at the new Windsor Castle, formerly the Armory Event Center downtown. And before they take the stage, we're excited. We have two checks, if you wouldn't, to present to our board. And the first one is a founding gift from Kim and Marion Leonard to establish Shelter of Hope Capital Campaign Fund at the Community Trust Foundation. Wow. It's kind of big. We like big checks at McLaren and Williams. And the second one is our first symbolic founder share contribution to our capital campaign by Susquehanna Bank. And we're very grateful to both of the Leonards and to Susquehanna. We look forward to working with your staff and the commissioners in this challenging effort, and it will be a challenging effort. We will need your steadfast support and your collaboration to make this facility a reality. We're committed to reaching into our own hearts and out to the community and into the animal rescue world to find the funds we need and to limit the local government's investment in local animal control as much as we possibly can. We know that a good measure of a good community is how they treat their seniors, how they treat their children, and how they treat their animals. And this is a good community. So we hope to see you at Barktoberfest. We have all kinds of exciting things going on. We're going to be unveiling our new bus that we got wrapped. We're having an adopt-a-thon. There'll be sidewalk sales. We have a rabies clinic with Dr. Bracken and all kinds of things. So please come out and be part of it. Thank you.
Can I say one more thing? One more thing. The animal rescue site. We're doing another shelter challenge for anybody that has computers. It's simple. Go on to the animalrescuesite.com, type in Allegany County, Cumberland, Maryland, and vote for Allegany County. We are #1 in the state right now, in a pretty good lead, and we are number 22 in the U.S.
Wonderful.
We need to keep that in order to win some of this money.
Well, I tell you, either the residents that are in the meeting tonight, or if they're watching on the web, or will be watching at the cable shows either in Frostburg or Cumberland, I challenge each and every one of our citizens to make a donation. It doesn't matter how great or small, to be part of that donation. And as just a gesture, I'd like to make a donation today, right now, to lead for the rest of our citizens.
Thank you.
Are you shooting us?
Thank you very much.
Sheriff's a terrible shot.
I love getting money, thank you. I'd also like to introduce Jo Wilson, who's also on our board, and she's working very hard with the architects and lots of other people to make this a reality.
All right, wonderful. Excellent news. Thank you very much. Commissioners, item number 5 is a fiscal year 2012 paper gaming report. I understand that Mr. Joy is here, our gaming administrator, to update us.
Good evening, Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to present this to you this evening. I'm going to try to be as brief as possible, so I'll hope you'll bear with me here. First and foremost, I'd like to recognize one of our staff, Rosemary Moorfield. We work hand in glove, and she's basically the hand and the glove, but she does a fantastic job for us. Okay, I'll be brief. I brought about 16 copies of the report. It's the same as the report of the slide. I'm going to be very brief with the slides. There's 50-some slides here. So in lieu of discussing those in detail, I would invite you to take these. If you have any questions, please call, and we'll try to clarify. If there's any discrepancies, please let us know. I'd like to put one caveat in here that the program rounds the numbers. So if you see a plus or less than plus or minus 1%, it's not an error in the math. It's a rounding program. Okay. I'll come back to the first slide here at the very end, so I'm not going to wander very far. The gaming taxes this year were $421,000. That's a decrease of $54,000 from 2011. The good news is we came in above projections. We estimated we would be down an additional 6% this year. We actually was only 4%. So we come in at actually $437,399. So we weren't quite as bad as we thought we might be. Wholesaler license remained the same. Sticker revenues were up $2,701. Now, the operators that we have are convenience stores, taverns, clubs, for-profits, and liquor stores and things of that nature. So every year we see this dynamic change going on. This year, convenience store revenues were down 11%, or $3,000. for a total of $27,387. Club revenues were down an additional 4% for $6,871. Liquor store revenues were actually up 13% for an increase of $15,470 for a total of $100,843. Tavern revenues were down 15%. Temporary revenues, everybody's trying to create some financial revenues for their activities, and they were up 0.9%. Gaming office expenses increased by 25%. That's $27,000. That sounds like a lot, but keep in mind that we are self-support. We pay our own insurance, and some of the fringe benefits went up as well. But it's not as bad as we think. The cost of the inspector went up $2,000, but that's primarily because the cost of fuel went up. When you drive, it's just like your vehicle, my vehicle at home, you have to pay to operate that vehicle. Other costs, office supplies, cell phones, auto repair, those type of things actually decreased by 37% or $1,418. The Allegany County Gaming Office issued 2 citations this year for $150, and they will come back into the general fund. After all that, after deductions and operating expenses, $223,793 will be allocated to education. That's down 12% from last year, and there'll be $74,598, down 12%, also earmarked for fire and rescue. Now, I want to go back one slide here if I can. Up on the upper left there, it says total Board of Education allocations, 2004 to 2012. $2,902,488, and over slightly to the right, fire department allocations, which is 28 in the county, share $866,225. If we proceed the same way that we're going now, and I want to emphasize this because I think this is critical to emphasize, at the end of this fiscal year, we will have allocated over $3 million for education from paper gaming, and we'll be over $900,000 for fire and rescue units. Next year, hopefully, we'll be over $1 million for fire and rescue as well. So I'm not going to go through the slides slide by slide. All they do is illustrate, support the numbers that I've given you here. If anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer. If you want to think about them for a while, call us at the office, 301-722-5510. We'll be glad to answer them or clarify any information that you might have or anything that you need to do.
Okay, well, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you and your department. Commissioners, under our action agenda this evening, item number 6 is resolution number 12-25. This is the Braddock Run Sanitary Sewer Project. Mr. Bennett.
Good evening. Before I start, I'd like to thank, I think he already left, I'd like to thank Jerry and his staff for all the work they do. They work pretty hard at it, pretty diligent at it, and they are self-supporting, and the money they bring back to the county is free and clear money that we use for education and fire companies, so it's a good thing, win-win for everyone.
It is, sir.
Now on to what I'm here for tonight. The first resolution in front of you would be for Braddock Run Sanitary Sewer. What we're looking to do here is to close on a $1,360,000 loan with MDE for repairs in the Braddock Run district. We enabled this with Code Home Rule Bill 5-12 earlier this year, and it's a 2-part MDE loan. First part, $485,000, which we'll fully repay. Second part, $875,000 through the loan forgiveness program. So we only pay 12.5%. Rest ends up being essentially grant to us. 0.8% interest over 30 years, very good term. And we'll cover this through user charges and ad valorem in the district. So we're just looking for your approval on this one so that we can close this loan within 2 weeks.
Commissioners, what is your pleasure? Is there entertain a motion to accept Resolution 12-25?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second?
It has been moved by Commissioner Valentine, seconded by Commissioner Brody. Gentlemen, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Item number 7. Oh, you're already there. Quick about that.
And this one will be even quicker.
Will it?
Yes.
Okay, introduction of Code Home Rule Bill number 7-12.
This would be to introduce a $400,000 bill and authorize the commissioners to borrow $400,000 for the Bedford Road Sanitary Sewer District, specifically for the Shades Lane area. This would be another MDE loan at the end of the day. Right now, they're still estimating 0.8% over 30 years. Work's already begun on this. This is a bit of a housekeeping thing for us. So we'll introduce the bill today, have a hearing next week. You'll be able to vote on it on the 25th, and then it'll become effective in December. And once it's effective, we should be able to close pretty quickly on the loan. So looking for your approval on this one.
Commissioners, is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Brody, seconded by Commissioner Valentine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Bennett. BW, Mr. David Eberly.
Commissioners, we have
on your consent agenda.
4 items on your consent agenda today. One deals with a surplus property sale. And we have items related to the rental allowance program and board appointments to the Solid Waste Management Board. Additionally, we have thanks to Brian Westfall, a kitchen sink amendment to the county's rules and regulations manual. A component of this motion today deals with the modification of the grade allocation table with all the employee titles. The county needed to make some revisions to that allocation table to reflect the fact that we no longer own a nursing home, in addition to some other adjustments. Last but not least, the county, commissioners, as you are aware, we maintain on an annual basis something in the order of about a $4.2 million liability in the county's financial statement with respect to earned leave. We've been tasked with the prospect of finding a way to address pensions long-term, health insurance long-term, and accrued leave. And with that, Brian, Teg, you are it.
Thank you, David, commissioners. David's plowed most of the ground here, but this is a program where we can reduce some of that liability. We can provide our employees with the opportunity to essentially sell back to us some of that leave and reduce our long-term liability. We buy it today at today's rates as opposed to the employee possibly taking it tomorrow at tomorrow's rates. Which could potentially go up. We believe the maximum cost of this would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $125,000 to $150,000 maximum. We don't expect employees to wholesale sell a lot of leave. We actually have some safeguards in there that they would protect their own leave balances, as well as require them to continue to take some of their vacation, because that's why we provide them with annual leave or vacation in the first place. So a relatively modest cost and reduce our long-term liability. So I recommend this to you.
Okay.
Very good.
Commissioners, any questions, concerns, or anything? Jason, you good with this? It affects money, so.
It reduces our liability, which bond reflects.
Okay. Okay, good. All right, then. Anything else?
That's it, sir.
All right. I'd like to entertain a motion to accept our consent agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Valentine, seconded by Commissioner Brody. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Eberly, do you have anything to share this evening?
Just one item, just as a public service announcement. At some point in time, and we hope the near future, we're going to ask Steve Young to come to a public work session. And and talk about the prospects of a new home for the sheriff's office. As the Animal Shelter Foundation moves forward with the development of a new facility, the ideal location for that new facility will lie just adjacent to the existing animal control facility right next to the sheriff's office. We have been talking both formally and informally over the past decade or so about the prospects of updating the sheriff's facility, and we would like to have the opportunity to share some ideas with you sometime very soon. So.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to get lots and lots of money donated for this shelter, and we need to put that on the fast track. So,
all right.
Yes, sir. Wonderful. Mr. Rudd, you know, you just look debonair and dashing today, and I just really appreciate you attending the meeting. Thank you very much. Commissioners. What say you?
I guess me.
Dashing and debonair.
First of all, on behalf of the commissioners, I'd also like to thank Mayor Grimm for coming this evening. You are a great community partner, Mayor, and we look forward to working with you every chance we get. So thank you for taking time out of your evening this evening. Second of all, I will do just a brief rundown of a few things that's been going on, because it is 2 pages long, and so I'm going to skip over some of this. And this calendar is always available online. So we'll start with Friday, September 28th, Marcellus Safe Drilling Initiative Advisory Commission meeting. Monday, October 1st, Town of Coney, Midland, and Westernport meetings. Tuesday, October 2nd, Maryland Rural Counties Coalition meeting in Wicomico County. Nice drive.
It was a nice drive.
Okay. Wednesday, October 3rd, Tri-County Council meeting in Western Maryland, Hagerstown Chamber of Commerce Business Expo. Thursday, October 4th, Tri-County County meeting in Western Maryland, again in Hagerstown, Greater Cumberland Committee meeting in Kaiser. I'm not even going to ask about that. Friday, October 5th, Economic Development Business Retention meeting. Sunday, October 7th, Allegany Garrett County Fire Rescue Association meeting. Monday, October 8th, Maryland Rural Counties Coalition meeting, Annapolis. Tuesday, same week, Maryland Rural Coalition Counties meeting, Caroline County, Board of Education meeting, and several constituent meetings. Wednesday, October 10th, South Cumberland Business Association meeting, Chamber of Commerce Legislative Committee meeting, and Facilities Community Advisory Board meeting. Thursday, October 11th, Financial Reality Fair, Maryland Department of Transportation, Consolidated Transportation Program public meeting. This meeting, Commissioners chat interview following this meeting, and also after that, I think the sheriff was going to demonstrate how to use a taser on Commissioner Valentine, if anyone's interested in sticking around for that. Ooh, ooh. Then Toys for Happiness kickoff dinner.
Sweets for Happiness.
Which
Don't tase me, bro.
We'll follow the tase.
Okay, my turn. Just a few things real quick. As Commissioner Brody said, we did have a Marcellus Safe Drilling meeting. Finally, the first actual meeting held in Allegany County after we were promised that they would all be divided between Allegany and Garrett County. Also at that meeting, they made a suggestion that it's awful far for the people down east to come up here to hold the meetings, so they suggested half the meetings be held down east. Now, I'm not real sure how much shorter it is driving east than it is west, but hopefully we can vote that request down. Also, I've got to give a lot of thanks to the sheriff. Some of the municipalities up Georges Creek Way has been seeing an increase in some crime and all. The sheriff and I have been helping the town of Allegany develop a crime watch committee. Looks like it's going along quite well. And the town of Barton starting to notice increase in crime. And I asked the sheriff if he would attend that meeting with me Tuesday, and right away he was there. So it's nice, you know, for a long, long time we've had sheriff department that is willing to have outreach to our communities. I know they appreciate it. Sheriff Goad set the standards for it. Sheriff Robertson's following right along. So that's very good to have. Today, sort of interesting, I attended the Financial Reality Fair. Most people in the county, unfortunately, don't even hear about this, but it's actually sponsored by the Board of Education. A number of local businesses take part, and they take our high school kids out and teach them what a dollar actually can and cannot do. You tell a kid that they're going to make $20,000 a year, they think they're going to be able to put $19,000 a year in the bank and rent a townhouse and buy a new car. This really teaches them how far the dollar no longer goes. So it was a real nice event out there, and hopefully we can continue having those types of things here.
To piggyback on that financial reality fair, it's the credit unions that really put on that particular program. That's important to know that our credit unions care about the county as a whole, not just the kids, but those kids are going to grow up. And one of the things, what do you mean by that?
You never did.
I suggested that next year, and they said it is part of their plan, that they invite the parents to come as well, because I'm not exactly sure how many of our parents actually understand finances, understand how to balance a checkbook, understand that it does cost an enormous amount of money when you use credit cards to live day to day, and it's a little embarrassing sometimes to ask for that help. And so if they can go along with their child and run through this, I think it would be better for all of our Allegheny citizens, much less the state of Maryland and our nation as a whole. And the financial crisis that we came in here a couple years back maybe would not have been as severe if people had actually put money aside for savings, or maybe decided that they didn't need a new car, but maybe they just held on to their old car and really looked at their debt ratio. So kudos to the credit unions and our Board of Education for that. So, okay, moving right into constituents.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm Kenneth Wilmot. I live at 513 4th Avenue. I'm a 20-year military veteran in the Air Force. I live on 4th Avenue. We have a problem. We have stray cats everywhere. But anyway, to get to the meat of it, I attended the board meeting last week. The board had been shut down for 9 months. We finally got a board meeting together. I have attended every board meeting since January 2011. The animal control shelter is no longer an animal control. It's been converted to an animal rescue, all on the taxpayers' money. I don't like this, because people call out there, and it came right out at the board meeting last week. People call out there requesting this or that. They get no answers. A lot of times they don't even answer the phone. I just, this past week, attempted to call city police again on a stray dog. 911 took it, yeah, that was the end of it. You can't get through. We got no support anywhere on stray dogs. The animal shelter says they have staffing problems. How could they have staffing problems? They got 10 people working out there now. That's 6 more than the previous management had. They don't have staffing problems. They got management problems. We had, at the meeting, a lady stood up, Mrs. Rafferty, and stated that their organization was going to start a trap, neuter, and release program. Well, it's illegal. You cannot trap, neuter, and release animals in Allegheny County or any place in the United States. It's against the law to drop an animal off on the byways and highways and city streets. It's called animal cruelty. Of course, we have people who think it's great, but it isn't. You forget there's other animals in the world besides cats and dogs. Now then, I asked a couple questions at the last board meeting last week, and Mr. Brubaker nor Mr. DeVoe wouldn't answer them. They just completely ignored it. According to the newspaper, we've had, I don't know how many articles. The They're claiming that they have rescued thousands and thousands of animals at the shelter. The truth of the matter is, right here, report coming from Mr. Brubaker. They didn't even take in 1,000 animals, according to this report. They took in 977. Adopted 575, transferred 130, reclaimed 72, euthanized 100, died 65, escaped 35. That's 977 animals. Now then, a percentage is a part of a whole. They claim 92%. This is a fairy tale. It simply does not exist. It's more like 52% if you go by these figures. Now then, this is the main question I had at the board meeting, and I'm going to request that you people give me an answer for it because neither Mr. Brubaker or Mr. DeVore would answer it. There's 800 animals missing in the count. Previous management was putting down 1,500 animals per year. They said that's 90%. So you figure that out mathematically, they've taken in almost 1,700, 1,800 animals previously. Where are the 800 animals that's not documented on the report? I highly suspect they have been doing a trap neuter release. I suspect it'll come out in the wash that they've been doing a trap neuter release all along. I say this because I have people every day coming to me and say, people are dropping cats and dogs off of my street like crazy. Yesterday I was out on Black Valley Road doing some work for a lady. She's got 5 cats. I said, how did you get 5 cats? She said, man, people just dropping them off. She said, everybody up the road's got 5 or 6 cats because people are dropping them off. It is a criminal offense to drop an animal off on the streets anywhere. So where these 800 cats went to, that's 800 criminal offenses if they've been dumping them on the streets. And I think they should be looked into. I think there needs, I would like to have this answer within the next meeting. I will be here next week. Now then, get away from that problem.
Would you like another 5 minutes, sir?
I just need a second.
Yes, sir.
I hope that you people will stand 100% fast that not one slot machine come into Rocky Gap until they build that new conference center that they promised. This was part of the deal, that before they started that place out there, they had to put in a conference center. And I hope that you people will stand fast on that. Because if you don't make them build that building, it'll never get built. They want a 3-year delay or something like that. They ain't never going to build it. It's just a delay in action. And you and I and the taxpayers in Allegany County, we're the losers on this whole deal out there. Because how many conferences were scheduled last year? Now, we ain't going to have none this year. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Wilmot, we totally disagree about your first issue, but your second, we agree 100% with you, and we're doing our best to make sure that that happens, sir. But thank you.
Where are the 800 animals?
I'll have an answer for you, as I've always delivered for you, sir. But there again, it goes back to that's not necessarily my priority. I understand it is yours and appreciate your opinion on that, but I will have an answer for you, sir. It is factual that it is your opinion. So, Mr. Jack Davis.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Hello, sir.
I noticed in the Cumberland Times News Saturday, October 6, 2012, the headline on the regional page reads, "Cities will renew push for roads funds." So you know why I'm here. I'm hoping that we can also make that a priority this session, that we push for roads funds. And also, congratulations on your new position. And hopefully you will push that through with the Rural Coalition. I believe that is a very important issue also to them, because I'm sure they're being treated the same way as we are with no roads funds, and they could use them also.
Well-
Hopefully, Mayor Grimm's here, and this mentions city, so I'm sure that he'll also help you push this through, because I've had several conversations with him over it too. So hopefully we can come together, and that'll be a major priority this time, to get some of that brought back to the counties and the cities to repair what we need repaired.
Last week at Tri-County Council, that was brought up. They had talked then under the MML report from the director that was going to be one of their things. As of for the Rural Coalition, it is something that they're looking at as well. It's really just looking at being honest that the gas tax is supposed to go for the bridges and the roads, but yet it ends up going to mass transit, and therefore in the rural counties end up paying for mass transit and down in the city, which is fine. But as it was noted a little earlier today, we're one of the last states that doesn't have a mass transit tax for those who are going to be using a mass transit system. And so at the end of the day, it's like Mr. Wilmot talks about the casinos. Do what you promised to say that you were going to do. Money was supposed to go into roads. That's where it's supposed to be. So we'll work on that, sir.
All right, so thank you very much.
Last year, Jack, there was a bill that passed that put in a bit of a convoluted formula, which everything the state does has a convoluted formula, but basically,
It's called government.
Basically, it's supposed to start coming back in stages, but seems to me there's something like the rural, they were going to take 70% to go to the urban areas, and 30% was going to come to the rural areas, but then the rural areas were actually only going to get 10% of that 30%, and the urban areas were going to get like 50% of their 70%. So Mr. Wilmot might have the math that'll work that out. I'm not sure how that all works out, but they did come up with something that we are supposed to start seeing it come back in dribbles over the next, I think that bill covered like 5 years. But even at the end of 5 years, we won't be back to the point where we were as recently as 3 years ago.
Right, and that seems to be the problem. It's hard to take care of what we have. Allegheny County has over 500 miles of roads that we maintain. And the small amount of budget that we've received is not enough to maintain what we have. And that's the major concern, My guys, we just want to do our job and make the roads safe for the school kids, people going to work. And it's hard to do that with the amount of funds we're getting, because we can't provide the materials that we need to do that.
The town of Barton, at their town council meeting Tuesday night, I think they said they'd gotten a letter saying that they would receive a huge fund of $2,700 to maintain their streets.
I appreciate any help you can give with that.
I think the town of Barton 2 years ago received less than $200.
That's,
So that was.
To me personally, I feel it's a misappropriation of funds. The funds were collected, the highway user fund is made up of 8 different categories. And those funds, when they come in, are to go to the roads, and they're not. To me, that's misappropriation of funds, but that falls on deaf ears downstate. We've been there, Mike, we know how that works.
Yes,
So
sir.
thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Okay, it looks like we have a Mr. Wesley Bauer, is it, sir? Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Podium's yours, sir.
Thank you. My name's Wesley Bowers. I live at 12,800 Marywood Road, Mount Savage. I'm here because I have a dump behind my house. Not on my property, not my doings. I got a problem with that gentleman right there with it. He showed up at my door the other day with surveyors. I had no idea they was there. He told me to keep my mouth shut and don't give them no, pardon me, his words, no shit, and leave them do their thing. I had to go out of town. I talked to a Mr. Bobby Twigg. Y'all, so most of you know. He gave me some advice to call one of y'all about this. That garbage dump is not my problem. It's not mine. It's not on my property. He's showed up about 6, 7 years ago, before this, with the dump. He knew it was there 6, 7 years ago. He come walking on my property. He said, you do this, and get rid of all this garbage on your property. I said, how am I going to do that? He goes, I know somebody will come in and take your stuff. He called Mr. Jones. We call him Punk Jones up around the house. He said, he'll come in and take your stuff. As long as I keep my mouth shut, he'll keep his mouth shut about the dump. So what happened was, they went to clean up the railroad tracks from my house. They dumped from, everybody coming down through there. Somebody dumped down over the hill where I live. I'm the one that called the people to come in and get the people out to get the stuff cleaned up. The lady, it wasn't her, the other lady come in. I think what happened was she did a walk around to see if there's anything more. She walked up behind and found the dump. She called another guy in, I forget who he is, one of the water resources guys, and I started getting things. And finally, he showed up the other day on my doorstep saying, their surveyor's going to be there. Keep your mouth shut and leave them do their job. Why is it fair for them to show up on my property without me knowing it of anything? How can people show up on my property, walk across my property without my knowing about it or my permission? That is what I like to know. And whoever I can have private counsel with, I would like to have it, please.
All right, sir. What I will do is, I'll take this, commissioners. We'll go ahead and we'll schedule a time for you and I to talk and that kind of stuff, and then I can.
Because like I said, I'm sitting here, I'm trying to be real calm about this. But I don't need somebody coming up on my thing. He gets intimidating. He intimidates me every time he shows up. I wish the gentleman not to show up on my door anymore. If she wants to send a lady, please send a lady. I'll talk to her. But I wish you wouldn't send him anymore because I can't handle him and his gun.
Well, we'll set up something with you. What is your phone number, sir?
It's 264.
No, it's not.
Well,
It's 240.
yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
Pardon me. This is my wife.
920.
Yes, ma'am. 920
920-3829.
29.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that dump's been there before, I was a little kid and that dump's been there.
And I'm 51 years old, and it's been there before me.
The house had sat empty 5 years before we got married and moved there. I mean,
Oh, we'll check into it. Right?
Please check it out.
I'll set something and we'll.
But I wish this gentleman not to show up at my door anymore.
Okay. Well, let's.
Send the lady, it's fine. But please don't let him send him at my door because he intimidates me every time he comes there.
Either I or someone will be calling you tomorrow to set an appointment.
I would appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. I'd like to remind everyone that our next public business meeting will be October the 10th, 2012 at 5 o'clock in room 100. Announcement for the Allegheny County Election Office information. Our public meeting for water and sewer projects in the Mount Savage area, Corriganville, Berryville, Ellerslie, Locust Grove, Jennings Run, Route 36 will be October 17th at 7 o'clock at the Mount Savage Fire Hall. And that our next public meeting for the Allegheny County Comprehensive Plan will be October 23rd at 7 o'clock right here, 701 Kelly Boulevard. Gentlemen, unless you have anything else, I'd like to thank everyone for participating in your government, and I hope you have a nice evening.